Summer reps make me feel fine. It's What Chaos, presented by Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Use promo code What Chaos for a first deposit match up to $100. My name is DJ Bean. Over there is Peter Blackburn, and over there is the for real, actually had a birthday boy, Sean DePaz. Happy birthday, Sean.
Hey, thank you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. How did it go? What'd you do?
Just fucking hammered NCAA.
Oh,
Greatest
yeah,
birthday present ever.
Yeah, buddy.
Really? You played NCAA? Wouldn't you play
college
Watch
football?
the more recent college football
Yeah,
game?
yeah.
Wow, DJ getting you on that is embarrassing.
No, we had this conversation beforehand.
Oh, okay, good.
He wasn't just being...
So to those who don't know, there was a video game franchise called EA Sports NCAA Football that before you two were born, I was probably playing, and I loved it.
Oh,
I got
you.
out when I stopped playing video games, and I was not there for when it went away, which was 2014, correct? That was the last game?
NCAA 14, correct.
And then when it went away, people were devastated because that game was such a fun game and series to play. You get it every year. I was always Texas. I'd make up players. You send them to the pros. You can connect to Madden. Whole thing. A lot of people were sad. This game came back and as EA Sports College Football. Let's not fuck it up. And every dude in the world, except for me, endearing, respectful, every dude in the world was like crying. And this game made, I believe that it had 800,000 people online playing during its early release.
Yeah, so that's the thing.
Right.
It was you had to buy the exclusive copy to get 3 days early access. And I don't know a single person that bought this game that didn't buy the deluxe copy.
Yeah.
Which I believe was like $75 or $80 or something, $90.
$90 with EA. Well, it depends on when you bought it because there's like discounts and stuff like that. There's like the bundle, all that, but it's a pretty damn good game.
It's
gotta say, it's pretty fun. I felt like real emotions when I first launched it up. It was like a real child, like it was nostalgia.
So
it was a crazy feeling.
Nostalgic for more ways than one for me because number one, the game reminds me of the old game in all the best ways, but also for the first time in like a long time, I invited a friend over to play video games. So when the game came out, the friend that I used to play NCAA with back in the day and do like dynasties for NCAA 14, invited him over. He came physically, sat down on my couch. We played college football 25 from like 4:30 p.m. to 2 a.m. And it was like I was 15 years old again. It was the best.
Yeah,
we ordered pizza. We drank soda. It was the fucking best.
Sounds amazing.
Honestly, so I always played NCAA growing up, but for me, this was what you were doing was back when Madden was still good. At least with me being a couple of years older, Madden franchise, don't play a single game, simulate every season, only do the draft free agency.
We played too.
And ruin people's lives when they demand trades.
Yes.
For me, it was getting to the realization that I was never going to play this past like 2 seasons. And so I could completely ruin my franchise's future and just acquire all the best players regardless of contracts and money.
Oh,
and stuff.
bad behavior. I never did that.
Yeah,
I traded all the good players right away. I wanted picks, baby.
I would treat my team like I was going to be their GM for the rest of eternity. You want my first round draft pick over my fucking dead body, pal. And then like I would just obviously stop playing it after 2 seasons and I'd have a million draft picks in capital that would never get used.
Yeah, I did that at first. Like when I first would start playing, I'd be like, all right, time to go full GM mode. And then I was just like, but also like even this last NHL when I did a franchise, I was like, but I kind of want Connor Bedard. So I'm going to trade my next 5 years worth of first round draft picks so I can get the first overall pick from the Blackhawks and have Connor Bedard. But I'm not going to play past 2 years.
Even so, even that would get old because Madden, I would trade for like whoever I don't know, Vince Young or somebody. And then after 5 minutes, after all the simming I'd done, I'd be like, Vince Young's the only real guy on this team. Gross. I don't want him anymore. And then I would just like turn. The only time we would play would be when we would take the lowest rated player in the draft, like a punter or something. We would take the worst player in the draft, first overall, and then play the first game of the season and make as like quarterback or whatever, or a tight end, and make them go off. And then the way that EA's algorithm would work, they'd be like, oh, this guy threw for 1,000 yards in the first game of the season. He'll probably throw for 700 yards every other game of the season. And you would just make them a Hall of Fame player. It was the best. All those fun tricks. You guys are just straight up playing the game?
We're playing the game. Yeah. We're developing a shitty school. Like, obviously you don't jump in and do a dynasty mode with like an SEC school. That's terrible behavior. You have to choose a very bad school. You have to climb the coaching carousel and climb the ladder. You develop programs, and then you jump to a bigger school. Louisiana Tech, shout out to the Bulldogs. We're running the Bulldogs right now.
How about you?
Horns up, University at Buffalo. I had dreams of being the Syracuse head coach eventually, so I wanted to lay roots in upstate New York. But the thing is I, as many people might not know this, was born in Texas, so I made my pipeline North Texas. And after 5 years of being the best offensive coordinator, and at least the MAC, one of the best in the country, I took a lateral move and became the offensive coordinator at Texas, which I have not played any of those games. I haven't started that season, just gotten to the recruiting. Whole different ball game when you're recruiting 5 stars.
Did
other
you
people actually want the players.
Pipeline?
Pipeline.
Hell yes. Absolutely. A big show for the Pacific Division. We got some Oilers stuff to talk about, but the headline of this show, the reason why we're rushing it out so quickly, is because at long last, we have a favorite of the program. Quinton Byfield, Moneybags himself, will be on the show today. We had a great conversation with him. He is just the best. And we uncover, I would say we break quite a bit of news with Quinton Byfield.
Yeah,
he didn't know what he was getting himself into. He was very cool with all of it, but we were like, we came with the
I don't think anybody that comes on the show fully knows what they're getting themselves into most of the time.
It depends on how they're booked, but yes, I would agree with that.
I think we're kind of like the Eric Andre show, where it's just like, I don't understand how they get themselves in the situation, but we're gonna ride with it.
Yeah.
You mentioned like favorite of the show coming on and us breaking news. He becomes a favorite of mine in a certain regard.
You'll have to find out how. Not a favorite of mine.
I feel like he's all of our favorite player for like 3 different reasons.
That's true.
Yeah. He rocks.
He's got something for everybody.
He's fantastic. We talked to him about moving back to center. Very exciting. Gave him some tips. You'll hear the conversation. Well, basically, the part where he's on the show is not currently happening. So you can get that part when it happens later. But big news with him is that he signs a 5-year deal with a $6.25 million AAV. Big news for the Kings. And one of the big RFAs now off the board. Love that he's going to be there. There was never any question of what was going to happen with those two sides, though. He is their best young player. Had an awesome year last year. Very dramatic. Scored the greatest goal we've ever seen. Had to wait forever to score his 20th goal and trigger a bonus in his contract. But even that was the most dramatic thing. And it was amazing. He's super tall. He rocks.
This contract, I love it for the Kings for now. I think that he is going to pop. We saw the breakthrough this year. He is going to pop and be one of the best players in the league, and that is going to be a value contract. If not, like on day one, very, very soon.
Well, I think the Kings know what they're getting themselves into there, and I lightly bring it up to him, which is, he didn't do a super long-term deal, huh? Because teams want to buy out years of unrestricted free agency. This is going to get him to unrestricted free agency at, I believe, 26, 27, something like as early 26. As he can be. Because, he started young, so I think he actually can get to free agency at 26. So that next contract, depending on what he does here,
Ooh, baby.
but that's what happens. You go shorter on the AAV to get shorter term. People are always confused by that on second contracts, where they'll say like, wow, they got him they didn't have to go long term with him, and they also didn't get him for a super high AAV. And it's like, that's by design on the player's part.
Mhm.
They'll take less to have fewer years so they can get to free agency and get that real huge contract. But $6.25 million, nothing to sneeze at, especially considering, I don't know, depending on how much you like to know, I'm starting him off as their second line center, probably.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
PLD gone. He'll be playing down the middle. Probably 6.25 for a good second line center, and we'll see what kind of center he is.
That's a little.
We have our no, just kidding.
No.
But I mean, he's transitioning from left wing to center, which he played more center last year. But I mean, one of the things that you take away from the PLD trade is, okay, the time is now. And this happens all the time. It happened with Jarvis. It happened with Sagan when he was in Boston, where you take a center and you give him more time on the wing, playing with some responsible players. You don't want to put him in too many bad spots early on. But you mentioned the 20-goal season, breakout year, awesome electric player, tall as shit, 6'5". He's going to become the face of that franchise, if not like really soon, kind of soon. Anze Kopitar, 100 years old.
Drew Doughty, 100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's next in line
He's
for
next.
sure. I would say, but behind those two guys, and that's, I mean, he's what the Kings needed too, like to be that next wave. And you started to see it come to fruition last year. He really did break through, and for especially in the first half of the year, he was fucking awesome. So very cool guy. Glad that bird did not.
A bird just flew into
I was going
our
to say,
door.
just
into our
right
door.
into the glass.
That the bird's
then-
okay. The bird's okay.
And
Yeah,
then like
he's
did one
trying-
of these.
The bird's a hockey player. It just bounced right back up.
Did
Didn't
a
miss a
little
shift.
Jacob Trouba
Yes.
elbow straight into the glass.
That's true.
It
Yeah.
stayed in the air.
Quinton Byfield, very cool guy. Stick around for that interview. Very, very excited.
Joe Pavelski has officially retired, which I saw some beat writery people doing the, hey, stop giving Joe Pavelski his flowers.
What?
We already knew he was retiring. This is not news. He said on breakup day, I'm pretty much probably never going to play again. Like, see you guys later. But he didn't specifically say that he was retiring.
And I am cool giving Joe Pavelski
Every
his
day.
flowers for like a year. If he wants a retirement tour, I'll do that.
I was giving him his flowers during the postseason.
That's true. You did declare him dead.
For resting in peace.
Yes.
Performance-wise.
Yes. It's very unfortunate that Joe Pavelski had to go out as quietly as he did, but don't let that overshadow the fact that he still fucking rocks. It's just kind of wild that the guy that we declared Sleepy Joe to make fun of Joe Biden like didn't outlast Joe Biden.
That's wild. Should we talk about politics?
The assassination.
Sean, what did you think of what do you think of the specifically the Tenacious D breakup?
I didn't know they broke up.
They didn't break up. They canceled the tour.
Oh, well, they were just
canceled the tour because
Did you see
one of the
Jack Black's
guys-
statement?
Yes, it was like, I don't want anything to do with this guy.
Yes.
The other guy in Tenacious D said like,
KG!
hey, next time don't miss. I don't know anything about Tenacious D.
Oh, they're the best.
He said like, next time don't miss.
It was Rage Cage's birthday, and they had a robot bring him out some.
A robot?
Yes.
Okay.
A robot. They have a very theatrical show. A robot brought him out some cupcakes, and they said, make a wish. And he said, don't miss Trump next time. And then afterwards, or a couple days later, Jack Black put out a statement, says, I was shocked by what happened on stage. I will never condone hate speech or political violence. We're going to cancel the rest of the shows, and all creative plans are on hold indefinitely. And maybe not a subject that we should be bringing up or whatever, but I will just say I was around. I'm sure that when the Trump thing went down, there was a lot of talk of like, oh, darn. I was kind of perplexed that somebody missed a target that big. But as an American, I am not on board with like fucking political
Murder?
assassinations. Like,
very bold.
I'll tell you what, like some of you kids are young. We don't want to go down that road. Grit now on the Tenacious D thing, they have said and saying a lot of like crazy fucking ridiculous things. So a lot of Tenacious D fans are like, yo, what if he was just joking?
It's a prank, bro.
Like, what if it's so I'll tell you what, the Tenacious D thing, very fascinating to me.
Yeah,
I
that's
just
kind of a
don't think that you
surprising response for
can make that kind of joke about literal murder. Like, politics aside, you're talking about literally
I mean,
murdering
people make
somebody.
murder jokes. I'd say more the stakes of assassination.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't know if people are doing it on stage, but like people make 9/11 jokes. Like,
Well, that's also 20
That was
years.
dude.
20
You were
something
not
years.
allowed to fucking make
Yeah.
a 9/11
I get
joke.
that. I'm just saying, that's just surprising to me that that's something that would cause that large of a rift in Tenacious D.
I mean, and
Same.
that's like people were making Trump assassination jokes too, but there's a difference between making a joke and saying like they should have killed this guy.
Yeah. Also, I'll just say this.
Team JB.
I feel like any of the people that are like pro Donald Trump dying, I don't think you would have been happy with what would have happened had he died.
100%.
Like the outcome there would not have been, oh, we just move on. Like that problem's
That's
gone.
why
it
so
wouldn't have been
that's-
good for, it wouldn't have
not
been
how
good
it
for
would've gone.
anybody.
That's
At
why I'm
all.
saying, like, U.S., look, we're in a tough fucking spot, okay? But we don't want to add political assassinations becoming the commonplace
That's
to
what
the mix.
separates us from the countries that people hate. Like that's not a path we want to go down at all.
Famously, I do not like Donald Trump, for the record, by the way.
Yes.
I haven't thrown that out there. We've
Yeah, I don't. And
I think
also,
he's a cool guy. No, I'm just kidding.
as a human being,
I like that Bernie Sanders.
I don't want to see someone get shot on
Sincerely.
camera. Like there's that part, like
Yeah,
that.
because then you're going to have Darren Rovell tweeting it out for like 20 straight
Yeah.
years.
crazy thing. Just
I was also,
insane
can I
behavior
say,
on his behalf, but
I was at a wedding, and phone etiquette is those things is phones in the pocket, and I was having a great time. But every like 45 minutes, I would say to whoever was talking about, like, hey, or whoever I was talking to, hey, we're a bunch, and it was a bunch of media people. So by nature, we're probably a little too online. It's like the one night that we're not checking Twitter. We're like, you know that right now there are things on fucking Twitter. There are memes. There are all sorts of things.
You're missing a night on Twitter.
Yes.
But as a newly engaged person, I swear to God, there better not be a fucking assassination attempt on the night of my wedding. I would be fucking pissed.
that would
If
suck.
I had a wedding and everybody was like, yo, you see this? Like, I don't think you can get mad as a person having a wedding if guests are on their phone checking in on a political
Agreed.
assassination
What about a game?
attempt. That I think is like, you know what you're getting into when you go to the wedding. You know that you're going to be like missing this game. You have to just like commit to missing the game unless you're just checking the score every once in a while. You can't be watching the game.
I don't know, brother. If you get married in February and the Bills happen to be making the Super Bowl, there's a chance I'm not showing up.
If you schedule your wedding on a Sunday that
that's-
happes to be Super Bowl Sunday,
that I
you
agree
get
with.
whatever consequences that you have.
well, that's what
coming
I'm
to you.
saying. Like if you do that, like yeah, I'm not apologizing for watching the Super Bowl at your wedding.
A random thing that just like pops up like an assassination
Yeah,
attempt is, I think, fair game for the guests at a wedding.
I feel like a presidential assassination is we stop everything no matter
Yes.
what.
I was like heavily drinking that day. Like it's gone out earlier
So
in
that's
the
Pete's
day.
alibi.
Yes. And I'll tell you what, it's very hard to comprehend. I would imagine it's hard to comprehend an assassination attempt at any point in time. But like after you've had 5 or 6 drinks, just being like, what?
I also there was something weird about it. I wasn't obviously around when like Reagan got shot, but like
You're
it
so
ki-
young.
It kind of just felt like it just happened, and everyone was like, "Oh shit, Donald Trump just got shot."
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like hard to wrap your head
And
around
then
the
we just
gravity
keep
of it.
kind of moving along.
I feel like we're currently like that.
Yeah. Like the president, regardless of what happens in November, he's going to win the election. But regardless of what happens, like that's the 45th president of the United States, like former president of the United States. And he got shot on camera.
It's this
and
weird,
everyone was just like, oh.
it's this weird situation. I think like the circumstances of the actual shooting is that like it resulted in a minor injury for the president. Obviously somebody was killed, but like minor injury for the president. But at the same time, it was extremely close to being deadly. Like it's not like he got shot in like the torso where he like actually was
I mean,
heavily
if he didn't
shot.
Turn his head when he did, he was getting shot square in the face.
That's why I feel like people have kind of just like moved past it a little bit more quickly, is that like there aren't super lingering effects of him being shot.
Yeah, that's also another weird thing. It's just like, what do we do now? Like the guy who did it died, and nothing really happened to Trump, and now we're just like, okay.
Wildest thing about it, I was watching Biden's press conference after he called Zelensky Putin.
Yeah, not good.
I was watching that press conference to be like, is this it? And watching with I'm watching by myself, but texting with the boys. You know how it is. He calls Kamala Trump, and you're like, oh my God. What if in that press conference he had said, and that was Friday, I believe, what if he did use that press conference to say, okay, I'm out. Get ready to speak Kamala. And then the next day, Trump, his opponent, is murdered. What if we could have had 24 hours where after days and weeks and months of all this discussion of these two, this is what we have, and then neither. Option C. It's neither.
I mean, that would be a great scenario. Not
Also,
obviously,
the
don't want to get there
conspiracy
that way.
theories that would have come into
That
play
was another thing where I was
if
just
that
like,
happened.
all of the shit we would have had to deal with outside of the fact that the president of the United States, former president of the United States, had been shot and killed. Like, outside all of the other discourse that would have happened around it would have been fucking unbearable. And I'm just, on a human level, glad that somebody didn't get shot in the head. And as like an American, glad we don't have to go down that path.
Well,
Correct.
If you are looking to hire, I would say that Indeed is probably the move. That's just my thoughts on this whole thing.
Transition.
We're driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform with over 350 million global monthly visitors, according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Leveraging over 140 million qualifications and preferences every day, Indeed's matching engine is constantly learning from your preferences. It's an engine that is just all about matching.
You know what makes the car go?
Yeah.
The engine. You know what makes your business go?
A matching engine.
The magic engine, which is Indeed.
So the more you use Indeed, the better this engine gets. You ever driving your car and you hear, what's a little... I get a little
clunking.
A little pitter patter.
Mm-hmm.
What's a little... I think my engine's getting worse. That's not your experience with the matching engine of Indeed.
Sometimes also,
You'll
like
say,
if you're
hey,
driving a car, an engine just falls out of it.
That's not what this engine does. It
I
does the
can't tell
opposite. It
you
gets
how-
better.
I see you trying to push back on that. I can't tell you how many times I've been driving my car and the engine's just fucking falling out.
I was gonna say sometimes
You
things
can't
happen.
tell us how many times that
I
happened.
can't tell you.
Happens
It's
all the
happened
time.
that many times.
Sometimes there's a noise, and then you just kind of let that shit be, and it figures itself out and makes it all. It gets better by itself.
I got an oil change the other day. The mechanic, very helpful, did the thing where they take out all the filters, say, hey, this is what this filter looks like. Is that good to you? And there's
I hate that.
There's like a fucking like dead dog on it. There's like food. There's like, and you're like, yep, that's how it's supposed to be.
I swear they do that stuff just to taunt you.
If
I knew how to change my oil, I would do it myself.
They're trying to pressure you into buying new ones under the guise of.
No, I've
helpful.
never felt pressured. They've just like, they're showing me all these things like Exhibit A, Exhibit B. And I'm just like, I don't understand what any of this is.
But get this. I said, no, that's good. That's how I want it. She puts it back and I'm driving to Maine the next day. Or no, same day, a couple hours later. I turn up the air conditioning all the way. And when I turn up the AC all the way, it's like a little like making a little bit of noise. And I'm like, it wasn't like that before you futzed around with it.
Yeah, but you can't go back, because if you go back, you say, hey, I think you did something, you fucked up with my AC. You should say, I showed you all the parts and you signed off on all of them. You verbally agreed that I did a good job.
It's the type of thing that Indeed would never do, because their matching engine takes your preferences and all of them just get better and better and better. The more you use Indeed, the better this engine gets. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide. Think about that. That's like, What? That's like
how many times the engine has fallen out of my car.
That's like 8 NCAA football opening nights. 3.5 million? Crazy. Join the 3.5 million businesses, more than that, worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/AllCity. Just go to Indeed.com/AllCity right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Indeed.com/AllCity. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
One of the things that I didn't mention that I did on College Football 25 opening night, had pizza, had a few pops, but I threw in a couple Juicy Lucy's as well, because Lucy is unbelievable. I have to say it. I'm in on Lucy. It's so easy to just pop in a nice little Lucy, sit on the couch, feel that little buzz, take you away. Lucy's 100% pure nicotine. It's always tobacco-free. It's available in pouches, gum, and our favorite, the little breakers. That's where the Juicy and Juicy Lucy comes from, because those breakers, they're pouches, but they have a capsule of liquid flavor inside that helps saturate the pouch.
I got to
make it
say,
juicy.
Juicy Lucy's are believed to have originated in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
There's an argument for a place in Connecticut that claims that they did it. I need to say, as a burger enthusiast, I do not believe Juicy Lucy's come from the breakers, but I could be wrong.
Now they do.
Well,
it's really about
a Lucy that's juicy.
It's about you planting your flag in something and calling it yours.
Did they have breakers back then? I don't know. They may have had breakers.
It
back
doesn't
then.
matter.
It
It
doesn't,
doesn't
me
matter.
not knowing enough about
past,
the burgers.
Stop living in the past. We're talking about the present.
The
Juicy
fact that
Lucy's means
it is
Lucy
a Lucy
nicotine
and
has
it's
planted
juicy.
its flag.
It's a Lucy
And
it's got juice in it.
That's right.
Thus,
Okay.
It is by definition a juicy Lucy.
Lucy.
Now, what does it mean when they say that juice is on the loose?
That's a whole
Watch
nother
out for the
story.
white
We'll get
Bronco.
into that on
Okay.
a different off-season podcast. Pouches go all the way up to 12 milligrams, but if you want a little something less, the breakers are available in 4 milligrams or 8 milligrams. They also come in unbelievable flavors like mint, berry, citrus, and espresso. And if you're not a pouch guy or gal, they also have gum that's available in 2 milligrams, 4 milligrams, and 8 milligrams. And if you also just don't want to keep running to the gas station all the time to refill your stock, set up subscriptions with Lucy, and they're delivered straight to your door. So level up your nicotine routine with Lucy and go to lucy.co/whatchaos and use promo code whatchaos to get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That is lucy.co using code whatchaos to get 20% off and always free shipping. And here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Here is the legend, Quinton Byfield, joining us from the LA Kings, fan favorite of this show, fan favorite of ours, number 55, center, Quinton Byfield. Quinton, hello.
Hi, thanks for having me, fellas. Excited.
Big week for you. Obviously, you signed a big new contract. Is it weird when you get a bunch of money and everybody knows?
I guess it's a little bit weird, yes. I got a lot of text messages from, family, all my buddies, saying, some funny things. So it's a little weird that it's out there, but, it's a good thing to have.
One of my favorite things about especially RFAs signing their second or third contracts with the team or whatever is no matter what the contract is, the first question is, why wasn't it a different contract? Like, you signed for 5 years, big, like, term, everything. And admittedly, the first thought I have was like, how come he didn't do 8 years? What's going on? Is there a problem? When in reality, in any other job, nobody ever signs to do something for 5 years.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's there's other contracts, out there for sure, but we just felt like on both sides this was the best deal on the table for both of us, and at the end of the day, we're both super excited about it. Just being back with the LA Kings, that's where I want to be, and then obviously Kings, having me back for term, that's a commitment as well. So we're both really excited about the deal.
Has that been the highlight of your summer so far? What else are you getting into?
That's definitely the highlight of my summer. I've been, traveling a little bit. Went to some weddings, bachelor parties. So there's some interesting things out there, but mostly just golf. I like every other hockey player.
You're in a gaming setup right now. It looks like you're in a gaming chair. Are you a college football 25 guy? What are you playing?
You know what? I gotta get my hands on that game. It looks unbelievable. So shout out to that game. I think that's EA Sports, right? And,
Yeah.
usually I play actually NHL. I play ESHL with a lot of my buddies back home. So we try to stay connected that way. And then during the season, there's a bunch of us that play Call of Duty and FIFA together. So there's a bunch of games always on the setup.
Playing EASHL with somebody who's actually in the NHL has got to be the weirdest thing of all time. Do your buddies give you shit?
No, it's pretty funny because we'll play against some guys and like I even did it when I was growing up. So I used to be, still I'm a massive gamer and stuff. So when you see like other guys like using actual players in the NHL using their names as like their character, it's pretty funny. And then we kind of just like joke about those things, but no, it's all good here.
Are you Quinton Byfield on your EASHL team?
I have not. No, I don't want to have that. Just in case,
So who do you play as?
I got my nickname. I play as one of my nicknames. So
Don't
that's what I
dox 'em.
use. Yeah. Just what the boys call me back here. So that's what I use.
Speaking of names, a highly underreported and underdiscussed detail of your life is that you are kind of named after Quentin Tarantino. I believe, as the story goes, your parents were discussing maybe naming you Clinton after your father, and they're both Tarantino fans. Your mom was reading something about Quentin Tarantino and was like, "Oh, we both like Tarantino. How about Quentin?" And it'll be Quentin, but we'll spell it like Clinton, and that way you get the homage to your old man, but also to Tarantino. Is this correct?
I think so. I like maybe the story might be fabricated a little bit just because my parents, but I think that is correct, and it's funny enough because my dad's name's Clinton, but then they name me Quinton, obviously, and then my godfather's name's Linton as well. So in the future, I gotta keep that going on, I think.
Damn. Are you a Tarantino guy?
Honestly, I don't know too much about them, if I'm being honest, but they're obviously massive fans.
Okay, well, Sean, throw up all the movies just in case. Have you seen any of these movies? Reservoir Dogs, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Django, Kill Bill. There's some classics in there.
Okay, yes. I you know what? I haven't watched Kill Bill yet, but I've watched Django and I think it's the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I've heard Pulp Fiction's really good. And I still haven't got around to that one, but
Tarantino rocks. Highly recommend.
And as an LA guy now, like you're gonna be there for a while. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Get all those Rick Dalton mannerisms in there. I think it'll be really, really well received.
Yeah, no, I'll bookmark all those, and those are my next movies I got on deck.
If you had to name your future child after a director, who would you pick?
After a director, you know what? I'm bad with names like that. Like I don't know many directors I could name off. Right?
Or after a movie, then.
Yeah,
Just
what's
a
your favorite movie overall, then?
My favorite movie? Wow. My movie. So I'm more of like a comedy guy. Man, putting me on the spot here. I'm trying to think now about my. There's one crazy one. I don't know how many kids listen to this, but Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh yeah.
I always loved that movie. I think that's up there for sure for me. I think
that's underrated for sure. I think
it's very underrated. I like that one. Then American Pie, like those ones as well. Like,
oh yeah, classic. People used to tell me that I looked like Jason Biggs, the guy from American Pie, and I believe it was given to me as an insult. So that's why I do a mustache to try to look different. And now God knows what I look like. Can we discuss your incredible goal against the Blue Jackets last season, which I'm sure you've discussed a million times, and you did so many things on this play, just wild, end-to-end off the face-off. You go through two guys, you lift the stick of our dear friend Zach Werenski. Wasn't very kind of you, kind of embarrassed him a little bit, kicked it to yourself, finished backhand. But my favorite thing about that whole play was your celebration, because it initially started with like, Oh, I fucking did that shit. And then eventually your face kind of changed to like, pretty good, huh, fellas?
Yeah, I know that. I don't even know what I was thinking on that play. It was, I think the play started in the D zone, and we lost the draw. And then I was just able to pick up the puck with enough ice and a lot of speed. And I was just coming through. At first, I was like, I was 1-on-2, I think. So I was like, I'm gonna have to dump this in, and kind of just set it up there. But then I was like, I'll just try to make a move here, and just I saw him kind of lunging at me. I just wanted to try to go through his stick, kind of in that area, and just that play ended up working. Then I realized I only had one hand on my stick. I was like, damn, and then the puck was there. I kicked it up, then I lift the stick and do all that, and that was kind of just all instinct and blacking out a little bit. And then I was falling over. I was like gliding into the corner almost. I couldn't get my skate down, so I almost crashed into the boards at first, and then finally I got up, and then it was kind of just like, oh, I can't believe I just did that. And I was like, wow, like it's one of those things where it all happened so fast. Like you don't realize how how cool it honestly was until you watch it over again.
We got like a month of content out of that goal. Like, do you remember like we like slowing it down? This like I feel like the stick lift was borderline like missed or like underappreciated by everybody. Like, did you know in that moment that you were making each of those plays one by one, or was it just like a here we go? I'm just like throwing my whole body at this thing.
Yeah, it was honestly, I was in scramble mode there. It was just anything to get the puck back and try to make a play and get a shot off. But no, that was my favorite part of the sequence. Honestly, was the stick lift because I feel like that part of the play was very underrated. That's it's hard to do at that moment and going that speed. But the whole thing was just scramble mode, just trying to get the puck and keep it going to the net.
Be honest. How many times did you watch it on YouTube after the fact?
Oh man, yeah, no, I can't lie. It was on my feed, decent amount. So I couldn't tell you how many times. I've seen it a bunch, and I enjoy it. But I think the LA Kings posted a video which is like 11 hours long with the same goal. So
I was gonna say,
oh, did they do like the like fuck it Byfield's goal a million times? Did they like one of those things?
11 hours. So that's usually what I watch when I go to sleep now.
I was gonna say that shit would be playing on loop in my house every time anybody came over. I'd be like, oh, this is on.
You should get one of those. You know what the frame is? You know what the frame is? It's a TV that's like that kind of blends. It makes it look like it's art, like it's a picture frame.
Yeah.
And just get the frame, toss that on there 24/7. Very tasteful.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what I'm gonna do. First time I get a house, that's gonna be the centerpiece, and whenever the guests come over, they'll see it right when they walk in.
Oh my! I'm sure that you've had. I mean, I listened to your availability and everything after you signed the contract. When you were asked what's the first thing you're going to do with the money, you should have been like, I'm going to erect a statue of myself scoring against the Columbus Blue Jackets. Furthermore, even though I'm still alive, I will get hologram Quinton Byfield to score the goal in my house at all times, and also the LG frame. Yeah,
no, that is probably a better answer than I gave. I don't even know what I gave. I think I said nothing, honestly. But no, that's on the list now for sure.
Everybody was calling that goal of the year immediately after it happened, but there was still a bunch of time left in the season. Were you monitoring the rest of the league to be like, fuck, I hope Connor McDavid doesn't do anything cooler the rest of this season?
Yeah, then he did in the playoffs. So there's so many good players in the league, and it's like, especially Connor. Like he probably has a highlight reel every game. He's unbelievable. But I'm a big hockey fan and watch as much hockey as I can. So I was monitoring a little bit.
Does it piss you off that you are the second highest drafted player from Newmarket, Ontario?
You know what? I'm just happy. I'm happy I got drafted, but no, like I don't know if he really claims Newmarket. I think
he doesn't, honestly.
Yeah. So Newmarket's still mine, I think.
But what's very funny about
These are my streets,
on the list of like famous people from Newmarket is I'm sure Jim Carrey is from Newmarket. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. John Candy from Newmarket. Connor McDavid I'm a big Oilers fan, but Connor McDavid is considered like one of the least funny people in the world. He's not there to make jokes. So I love that, depending on whether or not he claims Newmarket, you got two of the funniest people ever, and then somebody who's just got no interest in it.
Yeah, no, Newmarket's good, and Connor. Like I have the opportunity to work out with him during the summers, and we're represented by the same agency. So over the years, I got to be able to meet him. He's sneaky, really funny. Once he gets to open up to you guys.
Another fun fact is, speaking of Connor McDavid, is that you were a Jeff Jackson client before he went and became CEO of the Oilers. Famously, he represented Connor as well, which explains why you have the same agency now. But what was Jeff Jackson like as an agent?
He was an amazing agent, honestly. Very excited that he took the next step again and became the Oilers president. They're doing a great job over there. But as an agent, he was always there for me, and I can't say enough words about him.
You have to be just deathly sick of the Oilers, though, right?
I mean, one of these times has to happen for us. So, it sucks. It's, that's how the NHL is scheduled, though. There's a lot of, teams playing each other in the first round now, which is, kind of how they want it, is the rivalry and everything. But, that's how it goes. And, we know our opponent now. And, next time we hope it goes differently.
Well, do you remember the 82nd game of the season? This kind of ties back to your goal of the year thing. I was wondering which goal meant more to you, the goal that made Quinton Byfield a household name if you weren't already. And I know that you're smirking because you know which goal I'm about to talk about. You had, I believe, a $215,000 bonus in your contract if you scored 20 goals last season. And you scored 19 goals very quickly, and then went on had a little bit of a oopsie for a little while, and you were still playing well, but you went into game 82 on a 19-game goalless streak before finally scoring 20 in a crazy game against the Chicago Blackhawks, which, tying back to what we were saying before, like that was also deciding who you were going to play against, and you had to come back in that game, and it was a whole wild thing. But which goal meant more to you? The crazy goal or the hell yeah, I just got paid goal?
I'll say the crazy goal, but funny enough, you mentioned that. It was 19 games. You're right. As all the fellas knew too, so they're trying to get me the puck, in that last game. So it was fun, but it sucks I had to wait that long. But the NHL is a hard league to score, and once I was at 19. I think there's 58 games left. I was like, I might get 30 here. And then, funny enough, I go on crazy cold streak. But, with that time as well, I was sick for a long time there as well. So most of the games I was trying to get through the games. But, going back to that, I think the Columbus goal is probably the most special. But the Chicago definitely pays the bills.
Yeah. And I mean, 20 goals is still 20 goals, and that's for sure a breakthrough year for you. Was there something that clicked this year that maybe didn't in the first couple of years of your career?
Yeah, for me, it was I never really had a full season that was fully healthy. There's a lot that goes into it. The first year, I sprained my ankles. I missed 40 games. The next year, I was sick multiple times, and it's all about opportunity and how you use it. So there's a lot of different things to factor on that, but I think injuries in the past played a big part on me. And this year I was fully healthy, and I just wanted with a whole different mindset. That I've been playing this game my whole life and scoring goals, putting up points. So just want to go back with that mindset and end up being a lot better this year.
Did you feel like the pressure in those 2 years when you were battling stuff? Because I know Alexis Lafreniere went in front of you and it took him. This was his breakout year too in the NHL, and I know that he got a ton of shit being bust, and you guys are 20. You're about to be 22. It's still extremely young. Did you feel pressure from outside noise to I don't know, break through sooner than you did?
Yeah, like you hear all the noise and everything, and you obviously want to live up to all the potential, but guys are coming in so early, so young, with different spots as well. Like I feel like me and Laffy as well. We won two teams that were already looking for the playoffs and the playoff picture. So it's almost tough to find your role and position in those teams, but. Yeah, you definitely hear all the noise. You want to live up to it, but it also sucks that you can't, go and tell everybody, what injuries you're dealing with, and all the other stuff that you're dealing with as well. So you kind of just have to soak it at that point, and try to be best you can at that point.
You've been practicing those face-offs, big guy?
You know what? Since I got the word that I might be going back to center, I've been thinking about that a lot lately because if you look at my numbers before, they weren't too great.
Oh, you mean you're a kid? Like we've had Seth Jarvis on, and he just talks about like Brenda Moore saying like, okay, I'm gonna give you a couple of face-offs this game, just like don't lose them cleanly, and then he gets his ass kicked in the dot, and he's like, God, I suck at this. Young centers are always bad at it. So like, I will say that this. I don't know if anyone's given you this tip yet. You should cheat on face-offs. Just cheat more. All the great like Patrice Bergeron, legend. Won 1 million Selkies, and everyone would say it like glowingly of him. They're like, "Oh, well, he cheats on faceoffs," and everyone, very good. So you just cheat
Sid
more.
too. Like Sid,
Sid
cheats all the time.
Have you? Yeah, cheat more.
Oh, like as a young guy, you get kicked out a ton if you cheat. Like I feel like over the years you gain respect, with the linesmen and the officials where you can cheat. But my first year on St. John's, I got kicked out a ton when I was trying to do that. But yeah, it's tough because growing up, like you never work on face-offs. Like you kind of just go out there play the game. It's not like that big a part of the game, throughout growing up. And then when you come to NHL, it's like you live and die by it almost.
What was has there ever been a face-off where you just like lost it so unbelievably cleanly that it would go on the other player's like highlight reel? And what does that feel like?
Oh, there's countless probably those times have happened. But it feels terrible. You're like, oh, like especially if there's like an icing and you're taking the draw and it's like everybody's tired, everyone's counting, you win the draw, then you just get waxed and then you're stuck in your zone again for like another minute. You're just like, oh, this is all my fault. So there's probably countless times that once happened to me.
Are you and I think you should leave guy?
Sorry, I think you should leave. Or?
Yeah. It's a show on Netflix, but there's a meme from it that we're all trying to find the guy who did this, and it's the person who's clearly responsible for what's going on. So I'm imagining you must have that feeling when you're defending, like, God, if we could only get the puck out of the fucking zone. God, if only we weren't in the zone.
Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't too familiar with that, but yes, no, that is definitely me when that happens, and I'm just like, this is all on me here.
Well, part of you going back to center, of course, is the trade of PLD. But also part of it is that's the position you grew up playing. And I know this came up after you signed the contract. Anze Kopitar, I think he's turning 37. Couple years left at least on this contract that he's beginning. Can you imagine an LA Kings without Anze Kopitar? Because that's probably going to be like Quinton time.
Yeah, it's tough, honestly, because I grew up watching Kopi and, just watching this game and over the years, watch how much he's grown and just being able to play with him, as a line mate and then just be able to, as a teammate and just be around him each day. It's pretty crazy. When you think of the LA Kings, he's probably the top name that you always think of. He's the all-time leader in, I think, every stat basically. So, it's tough to think of, not having a team without Kopi, but he's also put, all the young guys through the right guidance where, I think after, he ends up calling it quits that, we can move forward and, hopefully that we can take over for that.
I can't believe we've gone this long without asking, but what do you think of the new rebrand?
Oh, those jerseys are phenomenal. I feel like we've had so much potential with our jerseys, and just over the years, it kind of got a little bit stale. And we like there's so many jerseys from before and prior. Even our third jerseys that we had recently have been unbelievable. So what they did with the jerseys, I think a lot of the fans really like it, and all the players love it. And even the matte black helmets are, they're very different and something cool.
Do you like the silver? I personally can't stand it. I love the matte
chrome?
black. I'm sorry,
chrome?
the chrome helmets. I love the matte black.
I'm a big fan of just like all different cool designs, but the chrome domes, those might be my favorite jerseys that we had. Honestly,
I fucking love those.
I love them too, and honestly, I think it's the white gloves too. Like when you look down on the ice and you have white gloves on, like you just feel a lot better about your hands.
Were there when you knew that this rebrand was coming? Because the thing that I will give the Kings is your team does the heritage nights or like the specialty one-off things probably better than anybody. I like the merch that you make for like Armenian night is fucking sick, amazing. As all those things are popping up, are you kind of champing at the bit for like, yeah, but when are we getting like the real shit, the main thing? When's that coming?
Yeah, it's actually weird. So we took those photos for the new rebranding, like a couple games before playoffs. So like we kind of knew about it for a long time, but then it wasn't released to the media, so we couldn't really talk about it. And I feel like it's something that we all really want to talk about and share with everyone. But we do a great night, as you said, about all the one-offs. Like we have a lot of special jersey nights, and really cater to every type of fan base that we have, and I think they really do a good job about that. But as I said, it was hard to keep your lips tight about the new jerseys.
Did anyone want to pull a D2 in like the first round, maybe like game 5 or something, and be like, yo, it's not going great, boys. What if we come out in the new jerseys for the third period?
Oh, no, that would be awesome. Like, at that point, we probably should have. But, we were rocking, I think, our chrome jerseys without the chrome helmets on the away games.
That's crazy.
We had a different jersey set up for playoffs away games, but like not home, so it was a little different.
It's bad behavior. I hate it. I gotta have the chrome buckets.
Oh,
was any part of you rooting for the purple and gold? Because those purple and gold, like the reverse retro ones, were crazy good too.
Yeah, I love all the jerseys that they make, and I think all the third jerseys and jerseys that we had are unbelievable. Those are definitely top, but I think I still like the chrome ones better than those. But those would have been special too.
I can't believe Pete said he can't believe that we went so long without talking about jerseys. I can't believe we've gone so long without me saying, as a fellow Sergei Gonchar guy, the forward wearing 55, amazing, absolutely love it. Like, why do you love Sergei Gonchar, and how does it feel to wear a number that isn't really super common for your position? Because I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like for me growing up, like the Pittsburgh Penguins was kind of like the team growing up, and me just being I used to be a defenseman, so just wanted to be a little bit different. Everybody always wanted 87 and 71, and I just recognized Gonchar, and I just wanted to model my game after him when I was playing D. So he was my favorite player, and once I got that number, I just want to stick through it throughout my whole career, and lucky enough, I always got it.
So this is where I was like, okay, this is going to be a bonding moment for us, both Gonchar guys. I imagine Sergei Gonchar 2 teams earlier on the Capitals, and the cup of coffee that he had with the Bruins was amazing. But you're right. Yeah, when he went to the Penguins, man, that team had everyone. Gonchar was the best, though. Just absolutely electric player.
So cool. What was your first formative hockey memory? Because you're a young guy. I always like to kind of find out. For me, it was like Rick Nash when he scored the goal against Arizona. It was just so nasty. What was your first holy shit, this is the coolest sport in the world moment watching hockey as a kid?
For me, I think honestly, I watched a lot of hockey growing up, but the first memory that really sticks to me still, and I know exactly where I was that day, was when Crosby scored that game-winning goal in the Olympics against Team USA there. That's the one that always sticks out to me. I was at my buddy's basement, and we were watching that. All our family was over. All the boys were over. That's the one that always sticks out to me, and I won't forget that one.
Last question. In my feverish research on all things Quinton Byfield, I saw you call your grandparents on, I believe, your mother's side, Oma and Opa. This would get me fired from a job interview, but are you German?
I am German. That is correct. That's my mom's side, and I call them both Oma and Opa.
Hell yeah. We have a very weird thing on this show. We love German hockey players. Leon Draisaitl's my favorite player. Our producer Sean is a huge JJ Peterka guy. It sucks that your draft was you weren't all in the same place. You and Stützle could have been boys.
We could have been boys for sure. Yeah, no. So it's a weird mix too, because then my dad he's Jamaican, so it's like German Jamaican. I feel like it's very uncommon to have.
Do you like identify as German, or you like I am German?
I don't.
Not like primarily, but like you do recognize yourself as German, because I mean these two guys have clear favorite German hockey players in the NHL.
Normal thing.
I'm a free agent. I could be like Quinton Byfield could be my German.
Pete is a hockey is for everyone guy. Sean and I are just more like the three German guys in the league are really cool.
Yeah, no. For you, I'll identify as German. So I hope they can join your
Yes. Perfect.
Amazing. So you play famously in the AHL. You played on the first all black line in years and years and years, which was really cool. At an all-star game or something, if there got to be like a Draisaitl or a Stützle or a JJ or something, that'd be amazing. We'd probably be the only people hyping that up and be like, hey guys, there's not a ton of German people in the NHL. Let's give these guys their due. But would you like go over to them and be like, hey, they don't know, but this is a pretty cool moment.
Yeah. As you said, for you guys, I would, just because we had this conversation. But funny enough, I work out with Leon as well, so maybe we have some ties there. But if there's something there, that'd be pretty special too, because I recognize there's not many, German athletes in the NHL, and so that'd be a cool one.
What's Leon like?
He's a great guy, honestly. It sucks that I always play against the Oilers in the playoffs, but and I work out with half their team probably, so it's a weird one in the gym, but they're all great guys and all very respected.
Well, you got Fogel now. You got Fogs. He's gonna be a little. He's gonna be able to tell you all the secrets and show you all the ways of winning in the playoffs.
This is the year.
Exactly.
I'm an Oilers guy. I want you to have all the success in the world. I want you to beat the Stars. I beat somebody else. Oilers. Then we'll have to have a discussion. But I could see this being the year, though. At least for advancing, not past the Oilers, but we'll figure it out.
I like that. No, well, we got Fogs, but they took Arvidsson for us, so it's almost for one there.
Well, we love you coming on with us, man. We're huge fans of yours. And Will, I was going to say, we were planning on getting out there early next season to do something with you guys, but your first 400 games are on the road. So we will instead, I guess, just see you when you come to Boston, which you do before you play a home game.
I know. I looked at our schedule too. Initially, our thing was we're supposed to renovate our rooms, and then I think something fell through there, so that's why we're kind of starting all on the road. But Boston sounds good. We'll catch up and we'll talk some more.
Oh, you're the best, man. We appreciate it.
You're my favorite German player in the NHL now. I love that for me.
Awesome. I got to go with Leon until you do a couple of more goals like the Columbus one, then I think you beat out Leon. But Leon's so fucking good, man.
He's amazing.
All right. That's the weirdest way I've ever ended an interview, by telling somebody, but just to confirm, I like another player more than you, but we can be adults about this. We're at work. This is fine. Man, appreciate you so much. You're the best.
Awesome. Thank you, fellas.
I'm an honest man. I'm not going to bullshit him. I love Quinton Byfield. I think I like Quinton Byfield more than you, but I can't put him ahead of Leon.
No, I think that's fair. And I think that was, you mentioned probably the weirdest way to end an interview that we've ever done, but not the most dishonest way to end an interview. And I think it was funny.
They're going to say, Quinton, what do you think of those boys? They never lied to me once. They figured out I was German. Those guys care about me.
That's right.
Only interview I've ever done where they figured out that I was German.
It's incredible. Don't come on this podcast without letting the world know you're German, because we will uncover it and we will show it to the world and we will love every second of it.
Sean, conversation grade?
A.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like I am the Quinton Byfield guy. I give you Quinton Byfield more than me. I'm not like the biggest Quinton.
but I consider myself
It
a
might
pretty
be.
huge.
It might be a
Quinton Byfield.
1A 1B situation because I love Quinton.
Well, I mean, like I said before, it is. We all have different reasons to love Quinton
That's
Byfield.
true.
He's my black hockey player. He's your German hockey player, and he's got 55 for you.
You said that in such a Trump way. Look at my
look at my black hockey player. He's so great. He's better than yours.
That has to be the first interview he's done, though, where he got zero questions about being a black athlete and like 39 about being a German athlete.
Also, the big loser of that interview is Mark Scheifele. Absolute strays from Mark Scheifele being caught.
What? Just saying, like, you don't see a lot of forwards wearing 55?
Yeah.
But 55
You're like,
is
no
not
good centers wear 55.
I
You're the
didn't say
first
no
to
good
ever
center.
do
I
it.
say you're not. That's not a forwards number. You don't see that.
It's true. You're not wrong. I'm just Mark Scheifele was listening to that, being like, "Why do you say fuck me for?" That's all I'm saying. Thank you to Quinton Byfield for coming on the show. The future of the LA Kings is bright because of him. And when you have things that are bright, you need Shady Rays because they are an incredible sunglasses company that builds quality shades that are built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. They're an independent sunglasses company that offers world-class products rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so if you're trying to find the perfect pair to match your style or even your favorite team's uniform, you can do it at Shady Rays. We love them. They sent us some product. We wear them in the sun. We love them. Guess what? Some of them even lost them, but who cares? Because they have an incredible replacement and exchange policy where if you don't like your sunglasses or you lose them, you break them, you can get replacements super easy. And they have incredibly personal and fast support from real human beings. So there's really no risk to shop at Shady Rays. So exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out the best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code AC35 for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people.
We are just over a month away from the Los Angeles Sparks visiting TD Garden, Sean. Do you still want to go?
Yeah, I mean, like we discussed, no Cameron Brink makes it a little less alluring, but I'm always I love live sports,
man.
Exactly. I love live sports.
Also,
Sean just likes ball.
I don't know if Cameron Brink's traveling, but I have seen her hammering those like pregame outfits.
Still doing the fits.
She's still doing the fit checks on Instagram, which is a great business decision. Respect the hell out of it. Also, she's fighting through it. A torn ACL is a torn ACL, but she's not doing like the air cast or like the knee brace or anything. Just raw dogging it. And I respect the hell out of that.
Oh yeah.
Too strong. I feel like
Too strong.
I bring this up because whenever I bring up Prize Picks, I think of WNBA because I love Prize Picks as a companion to watching these WNBA games. And I suppose I could also be doing it with baseball, but my give a hoot on baseball just still isn't quite as high as I would like it to be. Yeah. I've replaced
Jaron Duran,
All-Star
Dog.
MVP.
Duran.
dog, all-star
Duran
MVP.
Duran.
Fuck him. He's a dog.
Did you DFS on him? I saw a lot of people saying that, like, oh, I DFS'd on him to win, and I was like, no, you didn't.
I was gonna say
People weren't DFSing
you're
on
lying
Duran.
if you're DF, he was barely an all-star, and then he should have been an all-star, but he barely made it.
You can't say he's barely an all-star.
Well, no, I'm
all-star when
saying,
he's
like,
All-Star game MVP.
He didn't start. He was not He wasn't like voted in to be an all-star. He was like a late addition or whatever. So if you were saying that to be fair, that's what happened last year with the MVP. It was the rookie catcher from the Rockies or whatever who won the MVP. So
He also had the incredible cleats.
well, did you see his suit when he was walking in?
No.
Oh my God, it was unbelievable. It was
He's
like
a hot
this
guy.
He's a stud.
hot
He's
guy.
I believe he's an LA Kings fan as well.
Oh, really?
Correct?
I don't know.
I think so. I think he is. Number crunch it. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than, I'm sorry, the way I said number crunch it and pointed at you. Prize Picks is America's #1 fantasy sports app with more than 5 million members. It's the most fun and exciting way to get in on the action. While you watch your favorite sports and players, you just pick more or less on 2 or more player stats for a shot to win up to 100x your cash. Yeah, I was not doing the MLB All-Star Game. But I, for sure, if I would have had All-Star Game here, Prize Picks here. Sean, you got an update on Duran Duran?
My update is that he's from Southern California, so that seems like good enough for me.
Checks out.
Wikipedia.com says that he is from Southern California.
Is he German?
Yeah, can we get a German Duran update?
Recurring
please?
bit on the show is just checking to see if every person is German.
I'm going to do this by not actually looking it up and just figuring out what the demographics of Riverside,
I
California
believe
is.
somewhere exists a picture of Duran Duran after a game wearing a LA Kings hat, which is a little weird as a baseball player because like baseball kind of half the job is just
Wearing
wear
a
a hat.
Yeah, but you can't. That's the one criticism I'll have of the Boston Red Sox is you can't wear a Navy hat with everything. That's like when you play baseball, you can only wear the hat of the team you play for.
Also,
but look what Whitey over here is doing. I'm talking about his hat.
yeah, this is a Whitey Bulger
White
hat.
goes with a lot of things. Although I would say that's more bone.
I thought you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more bone. I thought you were saying the Whitey over here. Was that Whitey Bulger?
I was just saying that you're wearing a white hat.
But
Oh,
you still
no.
can't wear that with black stuff. Like it's a navy brim and a red.
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
when he.
I
black
thought you were
option
saying
for
the
the
Whitey
Sox.
because like Whitey famously has a picture in like a white Red Sox hat.
Ah.
It's a very famous picture of him at like some beach or something.
I mean, I made my first $10 deposit and received an instant $10 bonus. If you have the skills, you could play for a shot at turning your $10 into $1,000. Prize Picks is available in more than 30 states across the country, including Duran, California, Texas, and Georgia. Prize Picks offers injury insurance so that your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If you have a player who exits a game early, say they don't return, Prize Picks, they got your back. Download the app today. Use code WhatChaos for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code WhatChaos for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, pick more, pick less. It's that easy. How'd you feel about the... You got an update, Sean?
No, I was just gonna say that now that I'm looking at All-Star jerseys, some of the worst.
That's what I was
I've
gonna
ever
say.
seen.
So bad.
A lot of the discourse I heard about the All-Star game was those jerseys look like weird ice cream things, which we
Yes.
all agree with that. But also, baseball, of all sports, you gotta wear your regular uniforms.
I mean, you still have to have an awesome All-Star jersey because you either have to wear it during the home run derby or you have to wear it during the game.
During
And
the game,
I think home run derby is way cooler because it's a more like casual event. So not forcing the players to wear like their regular uniforms, I think is better during the home run derby.
but the home run derby is where you see more personality-driven stuff. And this is a peak who the fuck is that guy event where it's baseball. You don't know who any of these guys are. If you
don't watch baseball.
No, I'm saying like the average sports fan does not know who a lot of these baseball players are. And if you have them, I know it sounds like dismissive, but it's like
Especially now, like baseball doesn't have a
yes,
million.
right. I mean, like if this were
million.
99, that would have been a
Yeah.
crazy thing for me to say they were all household names. But for anything where you could be drawn to the player and say, hey, I like that guy, I think it's important to have them in their jersey. So you could say, hey, who's that guy from the Rays who's cool?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Shout out Paul Skeens. I think Paul Skeens is taking over the world,
He's a
dude.
fucking dog.
He is
Dog?
a dog.
He's
You
the
know Paul
best.
Skeens?
Oh, yeah.
And
Personally.
he's also
Yeah.
dating Livy Dunn. Like he is.
Oh,
not-
that guy?
Yeah.
Then I saw there was Livy Dunn discourse, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
they do that too much, but it's just like the Taylor Swift thing. It's just it's a little annoying, but at the same time, I understand why they do it. She's huge. She is bigger than baseball in a lot of ways to a lot of people. So I get it, but
And they were just like the two biggest stars at LSU
exactly,
that were dating.
like,
So like it's a
they're
storyline.
very much a
It was a storyline at
power
LSU
couple.
before.
Although I will say, Livy Dunn, by like pro athlete standards, not that great. Like she wasn't a great gymnast at LSU. She's
Still
not.
is a gymnast at LSU. She's
Oh.
back for like her 7th season.
Yeah, 'cause she's not
Really?
that great.
Yeah,
she's Van Wilder?
She's not like.
I'm exaggerating. It's like her 5th year.
Yeah, I mean, COVID thing. People spent 9 years in college, but
Update on the Columbus Blue Jackets, by the way. Get a coach.
Still don't have a coach.
Still don't have a coach.
Still don't have a coach. But we did see an update on that front where they were closing in with Todd McClellan. Just couldn't get it past the finish line. So get a coach.
You see some of the names that were thrown out there? Dean Evison,
Mhm.
Jay Woodcroft.
Mhm.
Like it for my guys.
Same.
I like both for my guys.
I like both.
I would like us to get into the Dean Evison business.
You know why I like both? There's really like one main reason why I like both. They're coaches. They should get a coach.
Got to get one of those things. But Dean Evison, if he's the coach, it gets us into the Dean Evison business, and it shows that maybe a little growth or maturity on our part after not giving a fuck about him with a certain team. Suddenly, hey, we like this guy. What could it be?
Yeah, it was a weird place.
Or is it extra mean?
We didn't give a fuck about the team.
Yeah.
But when they fired him, we were like, oh, the team did something. Like, we had to pay attention. Like, that was the one time that we paid attention to the team.
I also root for Jay Woodcroft because, hey, that guy, if there were like awards for who got the most boned this year in hockey, he would have been.
Or, and I hate to say it, who did the worst job? If there was an award for who did the worst job. Nothing against Jay Woodcroft, but there's a lot of evidence suggesting he did a very bad job.
What were they called? The stats that are... Wowie stats. His Wowie stats were very bad.
Is that like a real? Well, I know like Wowie is like a actual stat, right?
Yeah. Do you know what Wowie is?
No.
With or without you.
Oh.
Shout out you too.
I think that works.
That works. Stats that the player has with the player and with so like the Oilers and Jay Woodcroft's Wowie stats were alarming.
That works in the actual application of the stat
and what it makes you say.
Yeah, and the Wowie.
That's so that makes it. Does that make it onomatopoeia, Sean? Probably not. No.
Onomatopoeia
is something that sounds like what it means.
Onomatopoeia is a written out version of a sound.
Right. So it's something that sounds like what it means. Right? Like no, bang,
like
or sorry, no.
That's
that's just an exclamation.
No, bang would be onomatopoeia when you write it out, because it's like it's the written version of a sound. It's like you writing out a sound.
What is
not like the verb bang, but like the sound bang.
Oh, okay.
What's the verb bang?
Like to bang something.
Never done
it. Okay, guy.
Yeah. So that's the update on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Wowie. And the update on the Edmonton Oilers is that Jeff Jackson, friend of the show, friend of Quinton Byfield, said recently, he said on Tuesday, I want to say, that he doesn't want to put a timeline on it, but maybe next 7 to 10 days. My favorite thing about Jeff Jackson is, have we compared him to Super Hot Fire yet? Do you know who that is, Sean?
I do. I feel like that came up recently, so that might have been what you were comparing it to. I just don't.
I was probably trying to force that meme of Jeff Jackson. For those of you who have used the internet, there was a series of videos on YouTube. You know who Super Hot Fire is, right?
I don't think so.
He'd get into these like not rap battles. It was more like UK battle rap style, where it was like offbeat and just basically poetry.
Yeah, almost spoken word.
He would recite these disses that really impressed the crowd, but he would always note at the end, what would he say, Sean?
I don't know.
But I'm not a rapper.
Oh,
and everybody would be like, oh shit, he's not even a rapper and he's good. So he would say, like, one of his things would be like, sandwiches. I eat that. And everybody would be like, oh shit, okay, where's he going with this? And then he'd say, like, shoes. I wear that. 2.5 Men. I watch that, and the whole crowd erupts and goes nuts.
You would recognize there's like a very popular GIF of the guy just like standing there in a hoodie as like
staring into the camera.
Yeah. Oh, with the guys going past him.
Like,
that's the wrong number.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes, right. He gives. He's like 555 555 5555. That's my girlfriend's number. Psych. That's the wrong number. And everyone's like, ah! So,
I know exactly what.
So he always tags it though with like, but I'm not a rapper. Jeff Jackson, everything he does, he's like, I'm not a fucking GM. Don't talk to me about any GM shit. I don't want to do that shit. Hold on a second. Let me just get Adam Henrique. And everyone's like, great job. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm not a GM.
I'm not a GM. I'm a fucking CEO. Which then, if he's not the GM and he's just like the CEO, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What if he gets
You're
himself fired?
overstepping your bounds.
What if he gets himself fired? We're like, hey, I finally hired a GM. And they're like, okay, cool. We've now looked at what you do, and it is hang out with Connor. Although honestly, it's like I'd pay him $10 million a year just to keep Connor McDavid happy.
He's essentially like George W. Bush.
I thought you were going to say George Costanza.
No, George W. Bush in that episode of Family Guy where he was hiding in the treehouse and was like, "Don't make me do stuff."
Yeah.
And I guess the difference is that he was good at doing stuff and just doesn't want to be doing stuff. Doesn't want the responsibility of being a GM.
Possibilities for Oilers GM. I'm thinking Dean Evison, Jay Woodcroft. I don't really care. I mean, my vote, I think lightly, is Keith Gretzky, because I think that I don't know these people personally, though. Like, everything I've seen Keith Gretzky do has been pretty good, but I don't know. And I'm not saying this like maybe he doesn't want the job or maybe he doesn't want whatever, but someone who's been there while the good stuff's been happening.
Keep it in the family.
And Jeff Jackson can still kind of make the moves and then after be like, I didn't fucking do that.
The puppet master.
Yeah, he could be the puppet master.
Yeah, I like that. Keep it in the family. Like we've always discussed the Oilers as like the organized crime organization of the NHL. And by we, I mean I was
going to say I don't recall ever having that conversation, but sure.
No, we definitely did. We had that. We were like, if there was going to be an organized crime family in the NHL, who would it be? And we were talking about like how Bob would be the Bob father.
I was going to say, is this anti-Italian discrimination against Gene?
No, but just the whole general vibe. We love it. Keep it in the family. I love that.
The Oilers do have like a little layer of like, have a seat.
Yes.
And then you watch the game and you're like, this is the organized crime.
Yeah. So another show note. Holy shit, we need to get an air conditioning guy. The air conditioning is not working. I'm looking at you. You're shiny as hell. I feel myself.
I was going to say, it takes one to know one. Yeah.
How does like Europe not have air conditioning? I just don't.
How does anybody not have air conditioning?
But like Europe, like just doesn't do air conditioning, like doesn't do central AC, and I don't get that. How do they survive?
It's crazy.
Is this true?
Yeah, like go to England. They don't have AC in places.
I'm not going to do that now.
They just raw dog that shit. I'm saying it's like for what you can do it. Just do it.
I don't know if I believe that England just doesn't do air conditioning. I've seen a lot of like stuff from England, a lot of footage, a lot of tape. Studied a lot of tape from England.
They don't look
They don't look that shiny. They don't look as shiny as we do right now.
Well, honestly, another reason why I'm shiny is I endorse. This is not a product that pays us, but
glow screen.
I've definitely gotten you into. We are both glow screen boys. If you don't know about it, Supergoop glow screen. It's the sunscreen with a little bit of concealer, I'd say, is in there, and it just evens everything out. It's like makeup, but it's sunscreen, and it's very nice. But it's shiny as fuck.
Yeah, it's especially shiny if you buy the one with glitter in it, which I did accidentally the first time. So I would put on myself, and I was like, "How does DJ wear this?" I'm just like shimmering like gold right now.
I don't hate that for my guys.
I hate that we don't have the chat here because they would have backed me up on what I was right about. Europe just basically doesn't use, like UK specifically, but a lot of Europe just doesn't use AC.
It's a crazy behavior.
Why is it not cold? Little peek behind the curtain. I came by 2 hours before we were supposed to be here because I was in the area, popped in, set the, what's that called? Is that a nest?
Yeah, it's a nest.
Well, it's not my kind of nest. And I set it to super cold and it said like, bet, it'll be like that in 2 hours.
Oh my God, that is not cool.
What the fuck? I set it to 69.
85.
Oh, this is terrible behavior. And I think Sean came in and he was like, I don't really totally know how to use it either. And I was like, yeah, I don't. But now we're getting something.
Yeah, because you said you came by a few hours ago or whatever and turned it on. And then when I came in, I checked it and it was set to 69, but there was no air blowing out until like I touched it, and then air started blowing out again, and then I set it back to 69 or 70 or whatever.
Awful. Well, thank you to Quinton Byfield for joining us. Named after Quentin Tarantino. You don't get that often where somebody with a different name is
He
named.
lightly suggested that his parents are liars.
Oh yeah, he was
got-
like, he was like, you must have fucking talked to my parents.
It's the classic Jersey thing. It's like, we're gonna name what we want, and then we're gonna give a reason for it afterwards.
Oh,
like
he
picking a
got
jersey
jerseyed.
number?
Well, like the Jersey release graphics where
Oh,
like
yeah.
this stripe has 13 different reasons behind it.
Oh,
Like,
We
that's
cut
not
a
how that
hole
works.
in the
Well,
top
dark.
of it to
13
represent.
reasons why.
Okay, I didn't mean to. I said stripe, and then I think immediately went to 13. Shout
We
out
cut-
USA.
We should start doing parody things of that, though.
Oh no, I suggested we should
Yeah,
definitely
we
do
talked
like
about this,
things
yeah.
mocking well, number one, we should do things mocking it, and number two, we should, whenever a team releases a new uniform, we should make it a point to have a segment going into the reasons why,
Yeah.
and like debunk them.
Did
or,
you
or,
find
like,
these Easter eggs?
Yes, or just like validate the legitimacy behind these claims.
Or
We
just
need
make
to-
it like super obvious and be like, this shield represents the logo of the National Hockey.
So yeah,
Yes.
but we also need to include the integral aspects that actually make it a jersey. For example, like this hole in the top, these
This jersey it features four
yes,
holes.
these
one for the
four
head,
holes
arms, and torso.
for the Four Nations. Oh, that's what we got to do with the Four
Yes.
Nations jerseys. These jerseys. Did you catch that these jerseys
13
have
things you didn't know about the Four Nations jerseys.
4 holes?
4 of them are for each hole. Like the
One
first
for
4
each nation.
One hole.
And the thumbnail on YouTube is just going to be us being like, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's us with the. I love doing the exploding. What's it? The boar.
Boar's head.
So that's that. Thanks to our friend. We didn't call him Q, by the way, which kind of stinks. Everyone calls him Q.
Do they?
Yeah,
They
we
all
could have
call him
gotten. We could have gotten.
I don't know. I
don't wanna force my
being
way into
too
that, though.
comfortable. Yeah.
I like more the like. Hey, how you doing? You're German, right? And
What's your favorite Quentin Tarantino movies?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is one of my favorite movies ever.
Really? I liked it a lot. I wouldn't rate it like that. I will always love Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, I would
So
lean
good.
Inglorious Bastards.
I just will. I'll
I'd probably go
always
Reservoir
love
Dogs.
Reservoir
too.
Dogs, yeah.
the Jew Bear and the Teddy fucking ball game hits
Yeah.
that. I was just like, oh, that's
I think it's
fucking awesome.
probably Inglorious Bastards for me, but like, there's a tight grouping at the top.
I think if I have time later, I might toss in like a little Jackie Brown.
I haven't watched.
I've never seen. So there is a. I have never seen Death Proof.
Really.
So
I
that's.
did watch that.
So
recently.
oddly enough, I have not seen every Quentin Tarantino movie.
I mean, I love Jamie Foxx. Django is fucking awesome.
Django's great. Like pretty much every Tarantino.
Yeah, I
is
mean, he's
very,
one of the
very
best directors of all time.
great. Yeah.
I was talking to a movie head at a wedding over the weekend, and he was saying his favorite directors, and he said, "Who's your favorite current director?" And I just smirked, and I was like, "Man, Yorgos always has my attention right now. That's all I'll say." And friend of the show, I will not name names. Let's call him Evan Drellick of The Athletic.
Yeah.
Evan Drellick was like, "Are you talking about Kinds of Kindness?" And I was like, "No, why?" And he was like, "Fuck that movie." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "You can't say that like you understood it or," and I was like, "That's the fucking point of Yorgos movies, man. It's all way over my fucking head, but it just fucking looks
Yeah.
cool. And Emma Stone is always dancing and doing cool shit. Jesse Plemons was just going off. Shout out Yorgos, man.
I think if I had to pick one right now, it's obviously like recency bias and who's hot. But like, man, Denny gets like very near the top of the
Denny's
list.
crazy,
You're
man.
obviously going to throw Christopher Nolan in there.
Yeah.
You can throw in Tarantino. There's a lot of great directors going around right now. We're pretty blessed, but
2 of my 5 favorite movies of all time are Edgar Wright movies.
Oh,
So-
yeah. You're a Baby Driver head, aren't you?
Big
Yes.
fan.
what else? You said 2.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the
Oh,
World is my
yeah.
favorite
I
movie.
didn't know that your
right,
favorite
yeah.
movie was Scott Pilgrim.
Denny,
I love that.
Denny's on like an absolute heater right now, though.
Yeah.
Prisoners was incredible.
Yeah.
Blade Runner, The Dunes.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I
wasn't an Arrival guy, but like Sicario.
I was
Denny's my favorite right now.
I was angrily not an Arrival guy. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This shit absolutely sucks. I did see Long Legs. We both saw Long Legs.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do a brunch episode at some point?
Yeah,
We're probably overdue for that.
we should do a brunch long legs episode.
Yeah. I have thoughts on long legs.
I do too.
It stars one of my goats. Or
Nicolas
co-stars.
Cage.
What's that?
Nicolas Cage.
Well, I fucking love Nicolas Cage, but I'm just such a fucking Alicia Witt guy.
Mm-hmm.
She fucking kills that shit. She always does. All right. Thank you, Quinton. We will talk to you all next week. Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.